Deep beneath cities, underground trains are engineering marvels, blending function with breathtaking design. From artistic masterpieces to sprawling transit hubs, these stations redefine what it means to travel underground. Stay with me now, we're going to be counting down the 15 most amazing underground train stations. Let's start with number 15. Toledo Station in Naples is often said to be up there as one of the most beautiful metro stations in the world. And the more you see of it, the clearer it becomes why. Found on Line 1 of the Naples Metro, the station itself is beneath Via Toledo, which is a busy shopping street in the center of the city. Since it opened in September of 2012, it's become a leading example of how public transport infrastructure can be designed for functionality, but also with aesthetics in mind. Created by Spanish architect Oscar Tosqueblanca, the station is a figurehead of Naples' Art Stations project, which aims to add contemporary art and architecture into the city's metro system. It gives it a sense of sunlight rippling on water. Reaching a depth of up to 165 feet below the ground, Toledo Station is one of the deepest in Naples. And because of the complex geology of the city, which is built on layers of volcanic rock, advanced tunneling techniques had to be used. Amazingly, during the initial excavation, archaeologists found artifacts and structures dating back to Roman times, some of which are now on display in the station itself, giving a real connection to history of this area. Now a major transport hub in the city that connects residents and tourists to landmarks like the Piazza Dante and the historic Spanish Quarter, this station received the prestigious Leaf Award in 2013 in honor of its architecture. Number 14. Nowy Świat Uniwersytet Metro Station in Warsaw, Poland. The Nowy Świat Uniwersytet Metro Station is one of the main underground stations in Poland's capital city of Warsaw, and it's on the line M2 of the Warsaw Metro. It first opened on March 8th of 2015 as part of the second Metro line's central lean lines and artistic elements. There's a use of colorful walls and panels, which lighten the space and make it a futuristic feeling place to be there when you're waiting for a train. From the entrance to the platforms, you're surrounded by purple, and this is a detail and a theme that's used across the M2 line. As it's a modern design, the station is easily accessible with elevators, escalators, and tactile paths for the visually impaired, ensuring that it caters to all types of passengers. And its design also uses energy-efficient technologies in line with Warsaw's efforts towards sustainable urban development. The station provides easy access to nearby attractions such as the Copernicus Monument, the Holy Cross Church, and the Royal Route, which is a historic pathway connecting key sites in Warsaw. So it's a great starting point for tourists wanting to explore all the city has to offer. Number 13. The Burjuman Station in Dubai. The Dubai Metro is one of the newest in the world, having first opened in 2009. It's there opened in 2009, the station has helped to massively improve connectivity here. Originally it was known as Khalid bin Al-Walid Station, and it was renamed Burjuman Station in 2012 to show its closeness to the Burjuman Mall. This connection to the mall makes the station a favorite among shoppers and tourists, of course, as it offers a seamless access to a wide range of retail outlets. It's also close to several hotels, offices, and landmarks, making it a convenient stop for residents. Now, architecturally, the station is another example of Dubai's way of making every structure a feature in its own right, with a modern design, including spacious air conditioning environment that keeps passengers comfortable, even during the city's sweltering summer. It feels smart and clean with straight lines, high-quality finishes, and even giant fluorescent jellyfish that hang from the ceiling throughout to create a surreal environment. Many thousands of people walk through this unexpected place each day, as it's a main connection between the red and green lines, allowing passengers to easily switch. Where else in the world, too? Found on the blue line, it serves the central district of Kungsholmen and offers access to landmarks like Stockholm City Hall and Stockholm District Court. Originally opened in 1975, this station is one of a number that have led to the Stockholm Metro system becoming known as the world's longest art gallery, where art and architecture are one defining feature of public transit spaces. Essentially, its design turns the underground structure into an immersive artistic experience. The station's interior has been carved directly into the bedrock, leaving raw rock surfaces fully exposed. This was a deliberate choice to create an unexpected atmosphere and feels far more like an ancient cavern rather than a modern metro station. Surprisingly though, it feels very sturdy and doesn't make you question its structural integrity, but it still gives the impression you're walking through something ancient or even that's been naturally formed. The station's design was done by architect Michael Granit and features artistic installations that reflect the history and heritage. It just makes things even stranger when you see people doing what they do in any other station, but without the more modern surroundings that you'd usually expect. Number 11. Formosa Boulevard MRT Station in Taiwan. The Formosa Boulevard MRT station, which is located in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. It's a site at the intersection of the red and orange lines, making it one of the most important transit hubs in the city, and first opened in 2008. It's a place that holds great historical and cultural significance for Taiwan, as it was named in the honor of the Kaohsiung Incident of 1979, which was also known as the Formosa Incident, and it was a major moment in Taiwan's movement towards democratization. The station serves as a reminder of the country's journey toward political freedom and the resilience of its people. The station has, though, become the most famous for its Dome of Light, which is a massive public art installation that's become a symbol of Kaohsiung's creativity and innovation. Created by an Italian artist, the Dome of Light is designed to handle high passenger volume, even though at times you'd hardly know there were many people there. And this includes the many who go there as a destination in its own right to see the dome for themselves. Number 10. The Papineau Station in Montreal, Canada. Montreal's Papineau Station is part of the city's metro system, which is a crucial transport network for millions of residents. On the Green Line, the station opened to travelers on December 19, 1966, and it was one of the original stations when the Montreal metro system began operating. Named after Papineau Avenue, which honors Joseph Papineau, a politician and father of the famous reformist Louis Joseph Papineau, the station is a prime example of the mid-20th century modernist design that can be seen in many Montreal metro stations. Designed by architect Jean Dumontier, the station has clean, minimalist lines and focuses on functionality. Its platform walls are decorated with ceramic tiles and shades of blue, creating a calm environment. There's several murals which will catch your eye as you pass it. It's particularly close to one of the largest, most vibrant LGBT regions in North America, making the station a major transport hub for events such as the annual Montreal Pride Festival, which draws thousands of participants and visitors from around the world. Papineau Station is surrounded by a variety of venues and landmarks, providing access to La Fontaine Park, one of Montreal's largest and most famous green spaces, offering a retreat from urban life with its lawns, ponds, and facilities. The station also connects passengers to the Jacques Cartier Bridge, which is a historic structure that links Montreal to the South Shore. Number 9. Paxtakor Station in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Paxtakor Station is one of the larger stations in the Tashkent metro system, which is world famous for its stunning Soviet-era architectural and artistic designs. It opened in 1977 as part of the city's first metro line. It's named after the Uzbek word Paxtakor, which means cotton grower, in reference to Uzbekistan's traditional craftsmanship. Positioned near important landmarks in Tashkent, Paxtakor Station has become a vital transit point for local and visitors. It's close to the Paxtakor Stadium, one of Uzbekistan's largest sports venues, so the station is a popular choice for sports fans attending matches or events at the stadium. The station's also within walking distance of several cultural and educational institutions, including theaters and schools, putting it at the center of the city's daily life. Unusually, there are hints across the station of a dual purpose that most other stations around the world weren't directly designed for. While the Tashkent Metro is first and foremost a functional public transport system, it was also a piece of infrastructure that was built during the period of Soviet investment and was designed to be both a means of transport but also a signal of power and influence of the Soviet state. In recent years, though, Paxtakor Station has become better known around the world as part of Uzbekistan's attempt to attract more international tourists. As part of those efforts, this station is a vital connection point for residents and tourists. It was opened in 2000 as part of the metro's expansion to modernize Athens' public transport ahead of the 2004 Summer Olympic Games, and it's an interchange for Metro Lines 2, also known as the Red Line, and 3, which is also known as the Blue Line. The station's name, Syntagma, translates to mean Constitution, in reference to the historic Constitution Square above it, which has been a focal point of Greek democracy and civic life. Its location means that it's near important landmarks like the Hellenic Parliament, the National Gardens, and the shopping districts of Irmor Street and Kolonaki, making the station a gateway to Athens' rich history and daily life. During the construction of the station, extensive archaeological excavations found a treasure trove of ancient artifacts and structures showing this layered history of the city. These discoveries were then incorporated into the station, turning it into an underground museum, and meaning that passengers can look at displays of ancient pottery, tools, and even remnants of where above, continuing to host public gatherings, protests, and celebrations. The station is now a central meeting point for life in Athens, and a big part of local culture, with access to museums, theaters, and galleries. Moving on to number 7, the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel in Shanghai. Virtually every underground station on Earth is part of a wider transportation network that helps commuters, locals, and tourists to travel around a busy urban environment. But there's one place that's a surprising exception. The Bund Sightseeing Tunnel in Shanghai, China, is one of the city's most unusual attractions. With just 2 stations on the line, it connects the historic Bund area on the western bank of the Hangpu River to the futuristic Lujiazui Financial District on the eastern bank, and the tunnel between the two covers a distance of around 2,100 feet or 640 meters beneath the river. Opened in 2000, the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel was originally meant to be just a crossing point for pedestrians, but the decision was made to install a multimedia show and a railway. To the visuals with a mix of soothing, dramatic, and futuristic sounds, creating a theatrical atmosphere. One setback, though, is that the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel is far more expensive than other transportation options, which reinforces the idea that this just isn't a traditional transport network. It's become really popular with families and tourists who see it as a must-see experience and an attraction when exploring the city. There's no doubt that it serves as a literal and metaphorical bridge between Shanghai's past and its future. Number 6, the Olhas Station in Lisbon, Portugal. Olhas Station, which is in Lisbon, is undoubtedly one of the most impressive stops in the Lisbon metro system, which is a network that's known for its design. Found on the Red Line, the station connects the city center to areas like Oriente and Lisbon Airport, making it an important connection point for locals and tourists. Opened on May 19th in 1998, just in time for the Expo 98 World's Fair, the station is an example of modern design, and artistic scope of color is brought to life by the natural light coming through large skylights. Sculptures and murals, too, are also incorporated into the station's structural elements, creating an immersive environment. The station's location in a residential and commercial area makes it an important hub for daily commuters, but its architectural and artistic design has also turned it into a tourist attraction. It is frequently listed among the most beautiful metro stations in the world, drawing visitors who want to see it for themselves. And for the most part, when you're there, you'll hardly feel like it's a place that's designed as a transport hub. It's just a short trip to other places of interest and important sites, like the Lisbon Airport and other major train stations. Number 5, the Universidad de Chile Metro Station in Santiago. The Universidad de Chile Metro Station, which is in Chile in Santiago, is one of the most famous stations in the whole of the Santiago Metro network. As a part of Line 1, which is the city's busiest metro line, this station is a hub and shows a series of important moments in Chilean history, from pre-Columbian times to the modern era. These murals are huge works that can be seen across the station's walls and ceilings and show vivid imagery in indigenous traditions, colonial struggles, the fight for independence, and modern societal changes. These murals serve as a reminder of the resilience of the Chilean people, particularly following the political turmoil during the 20th century. Since opening, it's only gone on to be busier and busier in the same way that the city itself has done. The station is near major landmarks in Santiago, including government offices, financial institutions, and even cultural centers, making it the place you need to go if you're visiting places like that. This central location means that the station experiences heavy foot traffic, particularly during rush hours, and makes it a focal point for their urban life. This became even clearer during times of difficulty in the country, most recently during the 2018 Chilean social movement, which saw protests and public gatherings taking place on the platforms and on the concourses, with Art Nouveau entrance, which was designed by Hector Guimard. The iconic glass and iron canopy is one of the few remaining examples of Guimard's original designs, which were created in the early 1900s to give Paris Metro a distinctive architectural identity. The station is also important for being one of the deepest in the Paris Metro system, reaching around 118 feet or 36 meters below street level. Passengers using this station can either reach the platform by a spiral staircase, surrounded with colorful murals showing scenes from Montmartre's history, or instead use the elevators. The platform level of the best station is pretty special too, with walls that are covered with white ceramic tiles, which is the hallmark of the Paris Metro's design. These tiles, along with the station's vaulted ceilings, create a bright and airy atmosphere, even though it's so deep beneath the surface. There was a time when many of the metro stations in Paris would have looked like this, but either after having been destroyed during wartime or modernized, they've lost that historic appeal and are now far more modern. Russia. Mayakovskaya metro station, which is in Moscow, is a stunning station that stands out among a number of impressively designed parts of the city's metro system. Opened on September 11, 1938, the station is on Line 2, and it's named after the famous Soviet poet Vladimir Mayakovsky, whose revolutionary ideas and futurist concepts are reflected in its groundbreaking design. Widely regarded as one of the most beautiful metro stations in the world, it's an example of Art Deco architecture and a symbol of Soviet innovation during the pre-World War II era. The station was designed by architect Alexei Dushkin, whose work became known for its blend of functionalism and artistic spectacle. Mayakovskaya's design was revolutionary at the time, featuring a futuristic aesthetic that broke away from traditional conventions. Its construction used advanced techniques, particularly the use of stainless steel columns and a deep underground structure, which provided a stunning visual effect. Its vaulted ceilings are really special too, even though the station's up to 108 feet or 33 meters below the ground. As well as being an architecturally impressive place, Mayakovskaya holds a huge historical importance for the city. During World War II, it was used as a bomb shelter and a place for public gatherings, including a famous address by Joseph Stalin on November 6, 1941 during the Battle of Moscow. Despite its age, though, the station remains incredibly well maintained, much more so than other metro stations around the world. Number 2. Oxford Circus Station, London, UK. London's underground network was the first underground passenger railway in the world, with the first stations and tunnels opening in 1863. With newer ones opening as recently as of 2024, these various structures that make up the network cover a wide range of design styles. Probably one of the most famous and important of all, though, is Oxford Circus Station, which can be found at the intersection of Oxford Street and Regent Street, which are two of the city's most important shopping and commercial roads. Building at street level, but over the years, the station has undergone major renovations. A huge redesign came in the 1920s led by Charles Holden, whose work introduced a more streamlined and modern architectural style. The station's most transformative upgrade, though, took place in the 1960s with the construction of the Victoria Line. The addition of this new line involved the creation of deeper platforms, improved interchange facilities, and the additional entrances to handle the increasing flow of commuters. But due to its complex layout and historical constraints, Oxford Circus remains one of the stations not fully equipped with step-free access, posing some challenges for passengers with mobility needs. Managing such a high-traffic station requires advanced crowd control measures, particularly during peak hours and seasonal shopping periods like Christmas. Staff use techniques like directing foot traffic, temporarily restricting entry, and coordinating with other stations to ensure passenger safety, even limiting train movements to avoid overcrowding on the platforms. The Trans-Hudson or PATH system, and it connects New Jersey commuters to Manhattan while also linking the New York subway, ferry services, and bus routes. Its location within the World Trade Center complex and its symbolic significance as a testament to resilience make it one of the most important and meaningful transit facilities in the city. The original World Trade Center station opened in 1971, and it was a critical connection point for the PATH system. However, the station was destroyed during the events of September 11, 2001, which resulted in the collapse of the Twin Towers and caused extensive damage to the surrounding infrastructure. First opened as a temporary station in 2003, a more permanent structure was then developed as a part of a larger reconstruction of the World Trade Center site. The new World Trade Center Transportation Hub, which includes the station, was revealed in March of 2016. The project, designed by Spanish architect Santiago Calatrava, cost approximately $4 billion and has since become a hugely respected architectural landmark. The centralations and performances. The combination of transportation, shopping, and public space makes the Oculus a unique urban experience. The World Trade Center station is now, again, a crucial link in the PATH network, connecting New Jersey cities such as Hoboken, Jersey City, and Newark to Manhattan. The station also integrates with several New York City subway lines, including the A, C, E, 2, 3, R, and W trains. The station's design here is all about efficiency, with wide platforms, modern ticketing systems, and clear signage. But beyond its role in transport, the World Trade Center station is now probably the most emotive station in the world, with deep cultural and symbolic importance, not only to residents of New York, but to the wider country and beyond. It stands as a reminder of New York City's determination to rebuild after the events of 9/11, and it's next to the National September 11 Memorial and Museum, which honors those who were affected by what happened. The rebuilding of the World Trade Center